Man, your boy,
Why gotta be my boy?
Floyd Mayweather.
Oh yeah, my boy.
Yeah.
Not really though. I'm a Floyd Mayweather fan,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he's probably one of the best boxers to ever step in the ring. You know, you could arguably say maybe even the GOAT. His numbers speak volumes.
Yeah, his numbers speak for themselves. But Floyd, Logan or Jake, you know, I'm gonna make that mistake. Which Paul boy was it?
Oh, it was
Logan.
Jake. Oh, it was Logan. Yeah,
It was
Jake
Logan.
was the douchebag on the side with the trucker hat.
30 seconds.
Jake is his
on
little
his
brother.
on his phone the whole time.
Yeah.
So
Betting, probably.
remember we had this conversation like, is this good for boxing?
Yeah,
And I said, I don't think it affects boxing at all, right?
yeah.
I kind of got to retract that statement a little bit. I thought that shit was terrible for boxing. Like, even though it's an exposition, right? Am I doing that right?
No, exhibition.
Expedition, exposition, something. I teach English language arts, y'all.
Yeah, you can tell. Even though it was the exhibition match where nobody wins.
Yeah, like it was bad because it created the illusion of competition. And it wasn't a competition.
No.
Because in order for it to be a competition, there has to be a winner and there has to be a loser.
Right.
Right. And what happened was we were all waiting for a knockout. That's the only way for there to be a winner and a loser here is if someone gets
I wasn't waiting
knocked
for a knockout. Mayweather's not a knockout artist by a long shot. He don't even knock out dudes his own weight. He's not going to knock somebody out that's 25, 30 pounds heavier than him.
I was
Right.
waiting for some kind of domination.
I was waiting for some domination.
I felt like
More of a clinic, actually. Like, he was
Floyd walked him down multiple rounds.
but like,
Which is not common because he's the smaller man.
I agree.
Very
How does
rarely does a smaller man
I
walk
agree.
a bigger man down.
how
agree.
does a guy coming in 0-1
See,
weather an eight rounds?
Oh, well,
we
he
have-
fights a guy that's 30 pounds
Yeah, I
lighter
was
than
about to
him
say,
and
we-
doesn't have a lot of punching power.
we have some intangibles here, right? Like they have weight classes for a reason. Like
Right.
here's the thing. Here's my thing is that he weighed in 30 pounds heavier, but when he walked into,
Probably
into
40.
the ring,
Yeah.
he's probably 40, maybe even 45 pounds heavier than
Maybe.
Floyd. And I don't believe that Floyd was in his tip top.
No, I don't
fighting
think so
shape,
either.
because Floyd usually fights at like 145. When he weighed in, he was like 150. Like, and this might sound weird because he was in great shape, but Floyd was kind of not in boxing shape.
He was chilling.
He was
Yeah, I
chilling.
was there. He didn't
They were
have to be in
smiling.
amazing shape.
Yeah, he wasn't
know?
like once again, there was no incentive for him to win. He's already gotten paid, right?
He
he made $100 million on this.
his
shit.
interview after was I loved it because like
Right.
he's in a whole different mode in life.
And for
you know?
anybody that says that like,
He's
yo,
getting
this
bags.
is, he's the greatest of all time and he targeted his legacy, I wholeheartedly disagree with that. Because like he beat Miguel Cotto, right? Miguel Cotto is a monster. Well, was a monster.
Well, I mean, most
He
everybody he's fought.
He beat Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah, but there's a lot of arguments to do with that stuff too. There's a very strong argument that he fought Manny after Manny's prime and he did it on purpose.
See, that's the silly thing. I think he fought him when he fought him. Like there's
He
still,
ducked him initially.
it's a
There,
comp- it's
there was a whole deal about supposed I'm going to go by IOC, Olympic standards, right? International Olympic Committee standards, which is bullshit.
Right.
That's not true.
right.
And I really feel that it's unfortunate that he ducked Manny when Manny was hot.
So if we look at
But I digress.
Floyd Mayweather's like career, he fought some absolute murderers.
No matter how you
right?
cut it,
No
he
matter
fought
what-
them all.
Listen, he beat Canelo Alvarez.
Yes, he did.
Right now, at the end of the day, the Floyd Mayweather that beat Manny Pacquiao is not the same fighter that fought Logan Paul. Not the same.
No,
It's
no.
not the same person.
He didn't have to be.
And Floyd was complicit. He actually said, "Look, I'm 44 years old." And I heard someone else say this, that if we actually enjoyed his work, right, we should kind of celebrate him for still figuring out ways to present us with his art form. Because at 44 years old, he's still in the ring. He's still competing to a certain extent.
Okay, I give you that.
Right.
I bought the Tyson and Jones fight way more than I bought this trash.
Right. No, first of all, I didn't think that fight was entertaining.
Which one?
The
Jones and Tyson?
No, Jones and Tyson was entertaining.
Yeah.
But Floyd versus
Paul?
by Paul wasn't.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Wasn't entertaining because like straight up and down, that 40-pound difference and 6-inch height difference. Like Logan Paul looked like Drago from
Yeah, but he was
fucking
getting
Rocky.
he was getting lit up.
He was getting tagged, right? And he landed a few good shots, right? But I think that
You think he landed a few good shots?
he landed a few good shots.
He got him
Maybe
a couple times.
Yeah.
I think he made contact, a clean contact. I don't think he landed a single good shot.
You know what's even crazier? What's even crazier is that Logan looked like he was the more active fighter, right? But when you look at the punch stat numbers,
Logan was going backwards 90% of the time.
he was going backwards 90% of the time, and Floyd landed double the punches as Logan did.
Yeah, well, I think the success rate was like 15 to 45%.
Right. So at the end of the day, I think it was bad for boxing in respect that it wasn't a competition. It never was a competition. It
Again, this is just
they fooled us into
this
thinking
is
that
a
it was gonna be
popularity contest.
Right.
So if you're popular on social media,
Mm-hmm.
you can get a fight,
Right.
and then you can make some money.
Yo.
And that's the sad part, because there's legitimate boxers
Mm-hmm.
who have been doing this for 10, 15, 20 years
Right.
and have been ducked and have been sidestepped because of political reasons, or because the guy that was the top dog, Winky Wright, comes to mind.
Yes.
Winky Wright got sidestepped for most of his career because
Yeah.
nobody
Nobody
wanted to fight
him.
a
Right.
badass southpaw that
Right.
would put hands on you.
Right.
So he got snuffed in
Right.
the prime of his career. But these guys, all of a sudden, you want to be a boxer.
But see, that's the thing. This is where this is once again where I disagree. These guys, Logan and Jake, are fighting fighters that are not necessarily in their prime. They're not fighting.
I think
listen.
you started off even incorrectly. You said they're fighting fighters. No, they're not.
They're
They
fighting
have fought
retired
well,
fighters.
one of them has fought one fighter.
Right.
The rest of them haven't fought
But
shit.
So here's my point though, right? Like, I believe that the Floyd Mayweather that beat Canelo Alvarez, the Floyd Mayweather that beat Oscar De La Hoya, would have put hands all over Jake Paul. Jake would have not touched him. It would have been,
Agreed.
he would have got mopped.
Agreed.
Just period. But he's not that athlete anymore. And
No.
I don't believe that this exhibition actually takes away from him being the greatest or one of the greatest.
I
of
don't
all
think
time.
it takes away from him as a person.
Right.
I think it takes away from the novices who are watching this and assuming that this is boxing.
Okay, I'll take that. But some young person that has been watching boxing and growing up boxing is not going to fight Floyd. Floyd is not going to fight that fight. Like, hats off to Floyd Mayweather for figuring out a way to make $100 million in a fight.
Agreed.
Yeah, hats
Agreed.
off for him selling a fight and convincing us that this is going to be some type of cool competition when it was a hug fest. Like realistically, what Jake Paul did, what one of the Paul brothers did that was really smart was he used his body weight. He was leaning on him the whole fight. He didn't stand in range because every time he stood in range, he got tagged.
Yeah.
Like, smart.
Well, I didn't have to pay for the fight, so.
Look, all I know is that Jake is going to fight Tyron. Jake Paul, the younger brother, is fighting Tyron Woodley. And perspective, Tyron, I think, fought at what, 185?
Yeah, he's fought 185. I don't know if that was his last weight division.
Yeah, no,
I know
because he was the UFC welterweight champion, right? And he's still a wrestler. He's still bread and
he
butter.
gives up what, like 3 inches to?
He gives up like 3 or 4 inches, but at least the weight classes are far closer.
Well, he's also a currently active MMA fighter too.
Yeah, he's lost. He's on the skid. He's lost his last 4 or 5 fights.
He's still active.
Right, but he's still active, right?
And he was a former champion.
And he's got power. He's got a right
Mad
hand
power.
from hell. So, look, Jake might be in over his head over here, but, I mean, he's still smart by picking a wrestler. Listen, at the end of the day, he's not calling out boxers in his weight class.
No.
Like, why not call out a comparable boxer in your weight class? If you're going to be a boxer, I'm a boxer. Well, you're beating up these MMA guys when these MMA guys literally practice different footwork. They practice different ways to move their heads. They practice different shit.
I think the whole thing is trash. But whatever.
Yeah, I want him to fight a boxer. I
heard Evander Holyfield's going to be getting I think it might be Evander Holyfield Tyson.
I did hear that.
I heard that also. But doesn't that even sound like, even though they're like,
I want to see Mike Tyson fight somebody again.
I want to see Mike Tyson.
I would watch
Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson fight again. And the crazy part is that we're watching this off of nostalgia because they're legends, right? Like, case in point, Roy Jones Jr.
Yes.
was fighting Mike Tyson at heavyweight, right? Roy Jones Jr. spent most of his boxing career at about like 170, 185, right? If 50-year-old Roy Jones Jr. would have got in the ring with Logan Paul, what do you think would have happened? 50-year-old Roy Jones Jr. in the ring.
I think he still would have schooled him.
I think that
Stop it. Don't
Roy
even say it.
Jones.
What?
Roy Jones
Would've
would have knocked that kid right on out. Yeah, I think he would have got him.
A little bit more power behind it.
Yeah, because with a little bit more power. Like, listen, man, Floyd fought at like 145 his whole career.
Did you
Do
see?
you understand how little that is? That's a grown-ass man that's 145 pounds.
Yeah.
That is itty-bitty.
Did you see Jake Paul call out Canelo today?
What? Oh, he's just trying to get some fame.
I know, but bro,
How much more fame do you need?
See,
Canelo would put you into next.
see what
week.
Conor McGregor did.
But so here's the thing. Does Logan Paul's win take away from, or does it like put
Logan Paul's what?
Logan Paul's win? I'm sorry, Logan Paul's lasting 8 rounds with Floyd Mayweather. Does that take away from what Conor McGregor did?
No,
Because Conor was out on his feet when they stopped that fight. Conor
First of all, that was
a
a real fight, not an exhibition.
Second of all, they were way closer in size. Way closer.
I don't think Conor was out on his feet. I think he was dog
Conor
ass
got
tired.
rescued.
Conor was
It doesn't matter. Dog ass tired. It's a fight.
man.
There was more
I still
time
think
left.
Conor did a really good job.
I thought, considering he's never had an official professional boxing match before, I thought he did great.
Look, so does Logan standing in for 8 rounds put Conor McGregor's fight in a different light? Because Conor didn't go the distance. He did not go the distance.
How many? They didn't.
No, that fight got stopped. That fight got stopped.
Did it?
Yes, it did. He was so tired to the point, y'all need to watch the fight again.
I don't remember.
That
it
fight
being
did not go to distance.
In all fairness, there was a lot going on in my house that night.
Yeah, there was.
We had about 130 people there.
Oh yeah, that was
It
a
was
psycho night, right?
popping.
Yeah.
That was a
Hashtag LA annual.
hashtag.
It is not an annual. Maybe I got to go back and rewatch it. But
Right.
listen, at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see this being a good look for boxing as a profession. Maybe the fanfare, but not and the spectacle.
Right.
But just like a circus.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. But I think that this is not competition. This is entertainment. This is not competition. This is just like what the WWE does. Right?
Right.
Like if you think about, you get Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
You know, that's The Rock's cousin. That's
Right.
The Rock's cousin. And you got another, WWE guy. The wins and the losses don't really make, this is a part of the story. What these guys did is they told a good enough story to get people to go into their pockets and pull out $50 to pay them.
Sure.
For a performance, in my opinion, was lackluster because I thought the Ocho Cinco fight was more entertaining. That was just my opinion. I thought that Chad looked good until he didn't. Like, Chad looked good. He looked fast. At 43, 42 years old,
Right.
he looked good for someone that just kind of picked up boxing. He's just a natural athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And he was fighting a guy that was a boxer, mixed martial artist, bare knuckle boxer, not a traditional
Sure.
boxer. And then when he got tagged in the last round and he got knocked down, I was like, yeah, Chad, you look good up until that point. So, yeah, it was like, and then like.
He looked good right to the point you got
looked
knocked
good.
the fuck
He
out.
looked good. He didn't get knocked out, but damn it, man. I was like, oh, I had Nate Robinson flashbacks.
It was called at 10th round.
It was called. Thank you. See, it was called in the 10th
Is it
because.
scheduled for 12.
Yep. Because I feel like,
You know what it says though?
what?
It says Conor McGregor dominated the first 7 rounds of Floyd Mayweather, turning his back on him at most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the 9th round. it came
Yeah, but I
out.
wonder what the official
Hey, but you want to hear
scorecards
something
say.
crazy? You want to hear something crazy? I wonder what the official scorecards would say. But when Ali fought Foreman, and he did the rope-a-dope, they would say that Foreman dominated until
Right.
he didn't. Right? Like that rope-a-dope was something that Conor came across and tried to show everybody that he can box, and Floyd just got out of the way, stay out of the way, stay out of the way. Conor was dead dog tired, and Floyd was like, okay, now I'm going to work. Yo, if we looked at Muhammad Ali, George Foreman, the rope-a-dope, if we read that, it would say, yeah, he punched him in his arms for 10 rounds to the point where he was tired, and then he got lullabied to sleep, and that was it. So,
Scholar,
I think very deeply.
sinner.